Hi, welcome to another video. This time we're going to talk about KCS, or the KuCoin token, the token of the KuCoin exchange. And the reason why we talk about this token, because recently it has been bleeding quite a bit. We are looking at a 40% drop within approximately the last 10 days. So the question is, what's actually going on here with the KuCoin token? Is this normal since the market isn't that bullish now anyway? So is there something specific about KuCoin? So in this channel, we're doing technical analysis, right? We're not going to look too deep into the fundamentals. But one thing we will do is we will not just look at the US dollar chart here. We will also look at KuCoin versus Bitcoin. We will also look at the token valued in Ethereum. That's this chart over here. And we will even take it a step further. We will value KuCoin in terms of BNB. BNB, Binance Coin, basically being the main competitor of KuCoin. So we will look at relative performance. And last but not least, we will also look at a decentralized exchange. So KuCoin valued in Uni tokens. So there's basically three main altcoin exchanges, right? There is Binance being the largest, then there is KuCoin being the main competitor. Both of those are centralized, so there's a central company behind this. And the third most popular way of trading altcoins is via DEX, via decentralized exchange, and there Uniswap is the largest. So we'll also look at relative performance of the KuCoin token versus Uniswap. So let's jump in. I find it quite remarkable actually that we saw this kind of a drop. So over here we've got the US dollar chart. In the grand scheme of things, this little blip here doesn't seem too much, right? Because we have seen since the beginning of the year basically a 12x, or in the peak, so measuring from beginning to the peak, a 28x. So KuCoin has really been pumping. So why really bother here, right? This is just another blip in the road. Why can't we just grow further from here? Now, the way I like to look at these coins is these are basically a gauge for how active is altcoin trading right now, or how popular is it to trade in altcoins, right? There is the long-term buy and hold strategy of Bitcoin. You DCA into the market. Some people do the exact same thing also for Ethereum. Every month you buy a certain amount, you hold it for the long term. And this is basically in stark contrast to altcoin trading, where you flip small coins, you exchange them from one to another, and you try to basically play the market to find imbalances in the market and make short-term speculative profit. And that's what exchanges like KuCoin, Binance, and Uniswap are mainly used for. So one thing to look at here is maybe the Bitcoin dominance. So how important is Bitcoin as a fraction of the overall crypto market? So this is the historical Bitcoin dominance chart. It goes from maximum 100%, so all of crypto is Bitcoin, to a minimum of 0%. We've obviously always hovered between those two extremes. And we can see that since the beginning of the year, the Bitcoin dominance fell quite rapidly, right? From 70% all the way down to 40%. Now we have recovered somewhat to 47%. But still, historically speaking, we are at a relatively low level. Now, the fundamental question here is, do you believe that altcoins over the long term will beat Bitcoin? As in, will their importance grow over time and this dominance should long term be at a relatively low level? Or do you rather subscribe to this maximalist, to this Bitcoin maximalist idea that Bitcoin is really the only completely decentralized cryptocurrency because there's no real founder behind it, at least no known founder, and thus there's a unique position to Bitcoin, and thus a large fraction of the overall crypto market should be Bitcoin? So your answer to this question also in the end determines not only where this chart is going, but also where the exchange tokens are going, right? Because if you mainly think that this altcoin trading is rather short-term speculation, and that once new money stops flowing into the market, the speculative profits you can make trading altcoins back and forth, they go down, then you would not bet on exchange tokens, right? You're indirectly making a bet, an inverse bet to the Bitcoin dominance. So just when you look at this, Bitcoin dominance went down and the KuCoin token went up. If you're asking me, I personally think these cycles tend to repeat themselves, right? When you look at the very first large drop here, the Bitcoin dominance drop, this happened starting from February 2017 to January 2018. So when we look at the long-term Bitcoin chart, that's basically this time over here. So Bitcoin went up another 15x from here. But what's also interesting to note is that the real altcoin rally, it took some time to take off, right? We already went up like 5 to 6x until we saw altcoins really picking up. So there seems to be a delayed effect here. Bitcoin is increasing, and with this rally, risk appetite increases, the hype builds up. And a lot of people feel like they have maybe missed out on this first rally here, and they're looking like for the quote-unquote next Bitcoin, something with a lower market cap. And so the speculation in the altcoin starts basically at the second part during the rally. And the same happened here again recently. When we look at the Bitcoin dominance, when did it go down? This was since the beginning of the year. But Bitcoin was going up for quite a long time before that, right? Bitcoin went up 12x in basically 2 years. And during this 12x movement, during those 2 years, the Bitcoin dominance, it rather grew than fell. So this whole rally over here was mainly a Bitcoin rally. And only after Bitcoin has already gone up so much, only then, once we were at this elevated level, then the altcoin trading started happening. And so Bitcoin dominance fell, and the KuCoin token went through the roof. And the same cannot only be said for KuCoin. You will see the same thing in the BNB token or in the Uniswap token. So it's really quote unquote late in the cycle, when there has already been quite a bit of gains, when altcoin trading starts to really pick up. And I see this as a sign of risk tolerance going up, people willing to speculate, and also people's time horizon shortening, right? You just want to trade one coin for another. You're just looking at day charts. You maybe want to hold for a few weeks, but that's about it, right? You're not looking at a multi-year time frame, which might be the case if you invest in Bitcoin. And so what happens a lot with this trading, with this altcoin back and forth trading, is that there's a few winners and a lot of losers, right? If somebody makes a 10x on their investment, 10 other people have to basically lose that money, at least if the altcoin valuations, they don't stay at the elevated level for a really long time. But what very often happens is that the altcoins, they shoot up and they go down again. And so there's a few winners, a lot of losers. And the longer this altcoin speculation continues, the more concentrated the capital gets to a very few pool of players. So the new players, the losers, they exit the market. And so this whole altcoin trading rally, it loses steam, right? It needs more and more people to come into the space in order to feed those few winners. And once there are enough people that have lost, that are not anymore excited about this rally over here, but that basically got rug pulled, that bought a big hype coin and then lost. Once enough people left the market, then the altcoin rally is over. And then you see exchanges losing all over the place, and obviously also KuCoin token. Now this is a big story for what we currently see here, only a 40% drop, right? Is this going to continue, yes or no? That's the big question. And that's obviously dependent on how you currently see the overall market, right? There's still a lot of people that are relatively bullish, but I'm not. If you've watched any of my other videos, I have basically called a 50% dip since we were trading here at around 45 or 50K, something like this. And there's a lot of reasons to this. So just look at those videos. But overall, the macro trend currently for crypto is not too bullish in my opinion. But just short term, what I like to look at are moving averages for Ethereum. So when you backtest a trading strategy of Ethereum, that you buy into the market whenever the price is above the moving average and you sell out of the market whenever the price is below the moving average. When you backtest that kind of strategy, what you will find out is that the 23-day moving average and the 39-day moving average, they historically work the best for Ethereum. So if you want a good indication of where the Ethereum market in general is going, 23 and 39-day, those are your average you want to look at. And here we see those plotted. So the 23 in light blue and the 39 in dark blue. And we can see the price is below those two moving averages for quite a while already, since middle of May. And there's no end in sight here, right? So we are still going down. We are pretty bearish. I would wait to get into any kind of risky positions until we have really significantly crossed these moving averages. And I don't anticipate this to happen very quickly. Historically speaking, the autumn months, they are not very profitable for crypto. If you look at August, if you look at September, those are pretty bad months. Even June and July, compared to the other months, are not that positive. Usually the real performance happens in the last quarter of the year and during the spring. So this is for Bitcoin, but you will see something very similar for Ethereum since those two assets are relatively highly correlated. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary at all if we see the autumn relatively depressed. That's what happened in the past, and it seems to be happening yet again. Now let's say you don't share my overall global macro view and you think we are going up from here. Should you be holding KuCoin or should you be holding BNB or Uniswap? So one way to answer this is obviously fundamentally, what product do you like most? What do you think will work most in the future? Binance obviously has the big regulatory issues. Countries are banning it. Banks are stopping processing payments from and to Binance. So that's obviously a problem. KuCoin might get this in the future as well, right? It's basically just a Binance 2.0 in many ways. Uniswap is somewhat protected to this because it's a decentralized exchange, right? You can't really do much as a regulator if people start swapping on this decentralized protocol. But if you don't look at the fundamentals and you just look at technicals now, this is how KuCoin versus BNB has performed. And I find this rather interesting, right? We see a very significant underperformance for whatever reason. I'm not sure if Binance has really grown that much quicker than KuCoin in the time, or if there's just much more KuCoin issuance that makes this chart much more in favor of Binance. So this is basically the KuCoin price divided by the Binance Coin price, right? And so the question is if actually this recent outperformance here is due to the regulatory issues that Binance is currently facing. So we do see a bit of an outperformance, 200%, but this could just be relative volatility, right? We had these kind of swings before. So if you were to ask me, should you buy now KuCoin instead of Binance Coin simply because Binance is becoming so risky? It looks dangerous to me because KuCoin could see the exact same fate, and the outperformance recently wasn't that encouraging either, right? I would have expected personally when I look at this chart that, okay, Binance might have outperformed long term, but all the scrutiny that Binance is recently facing, I would have expected KuCoin to outperform way more, but people seem to be cautious. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of shift happening from people just switching from Binance to KuCoin, but people getting more cautious in general. Now let's see how this is for Uniswap. This is now KuCoin divided by the Uniswap token. And here the outperformance since February is way higher. So we can see people really switching to Uniswap. At least the coin seems to outperform consistently. Now, if I were to trade altcoins actively, which I don't right now because of my macro view on the crypto market. But if I were to trade altcoins, I would probably go for Uniswap at this very moment in time. The only thing to look at is gas fees, right? Currently, they are fine because a lot of people have exited the market. But if you look at the gas usage, if you look at how is Ethereum gas been used, so what's actually making the Ethereum blockchain busy, you can see it's mainly Uniswap. So Uniswap is number one. We've also got Uniswap v3, so another part of Uniswap. And then there's Tether, there's NFT trading. Here another stablecoin from Coinbase. But yeah, it's basically decentralized exchanges that make the Ethereum blockchain busy and that potentially drive up fees in case the blockchain gets clogged. So you don't want to trade in decentralized exchanges when there's too much hype. And the reason is transaction fees. This is the Ethereum transaction fee, 7-day moving average. And we can see that in the first boom in 2018, it wasn't that much of a deal. There was only this ICO trading happening, but it wasn't on decentralized exchanges. They came later and they made the Ethereum blockchain really busy and they drove up those prices in a way that trading with DEXs isn't profitable anymore. But these prices have come down simply because the transaction volumes, they have come down. So if you're trading alts with Uniswap, always look at this chart. If we are too high, you're unlikely to make gains long term simply because buying in and buying out is too expensive. So yeah, even though KuCoin seems to hold up relatively good long term, so this is KuCoin in Ethereum. It's basically going in tandem with Ethereum in a large trading range. But we are not losing over time versus Ethereum. That's good. But even though we have this situation going on, I would still be cautious simply because the swings in Ethereum, they're also very, very pronounced, right? In the last crash, we got a maximum drawdown of 94%, something in that region. 94% from top to bottom. And you don't want to be in the market if your US dollar valuation matters to you at all and you don't just look at your wealth in Ethereum or in Bitcoin, but you actually do care about your purchasing power in the real world. I wouldn't want to be in the market during such a drop. And so even though KuCoin doesn't underperform Ethereum, at least right now, where it hasn't been out-regulated yet, I would still be cautious simply because the altcoin rally, it seems to be over, at least in my opinion. I think Bitcoin dominance will grow further. The Bitcoin price might fall further as well. And so when the speculation is over, being in a coin that focuses on speculation, that derives its value from active speculation, being in such a coin is not a good idea. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give this a like. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe as well. I publish videos 2 to 3 times every week. And last but not least, we've got a Telegram channel with approximately 100 people. It's completely spam free. If you would like to discuss crypto topics over there and not just see people shilling their coins, but actually really seriously discussing about things, this is the place to go. Bitcoin Strategy channel on Telegram. See you next time. Bye bye.